One of the pieces of your reporting, James, and it matches the reporting of Cam Higbee, who's been on the ground there, and Azra Nomani, who's been posting for Fox, that there are these like very well attended, for lack of a better word, signal chats where immense planning takes place, and they're very well coordinated, and it's the network by which they. I mean, this is the real Signal Gate. Pete Hegseth got in trouble for using Signal for comms with some of his top emissaries. This is like planned lawlessness on the streets of Minneapolis via Signal.
Yeah, they're as I said to you when I got on your show, and I've got the Cam Higbee report. He was on the ground with me. He's done unbelievable, exceptional reporting. He got access to these Signal chats moments ago as I was on the show with you. Shows protesters organizing, and I am shocked and amazed at how organized they are. I've never seen anything like this. Every vehicle downtown, they're able to track, run the plates, confirm who they are, get their ID, like they did in my case. They ran my license plate. We're trying to figure out how they're able to do that, where they have someone on the inside of a rental car company, et cetera, and communicate with each other about it. And when I got out of my vehicle, this is like 11:30 in the morning, just after the shooting and before the autonomous zone. Within seconds, there were 5 of them standing outside of a relatively inconspicuous vehicle, interrogating me, asking to see my identification. So I got to give them credit, Megan. I've never seen anything in my life. I don't think any of us have ever seen a group of people more organized. And I warn people, because people are tempted to say, well, this is funded. And honestly, Megan, what I think and what I believe to be true is there isn't some one boogeyman funding all of this. It's a loose network of NGOs, some of which indirectly get funds from our government. But people actually really believe in their cause. And it's a cause that it appears to me that they're willing to live and die for, which is, I think, more terrifying than one guy funding them in a transactional way.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned just how violent they were and how you felt definitely under threat and potentially like your life was in danger. That tracks with what we've been seeing. This is just one, but we could spend all day playing them. This is an Antifa member whose name is Kyle Wagner, who's making his threats explicit. Again, this is like a day ending in Y. There are so many of these on the internet, but this one came to our attention, and we're going to show you why. SOT 22.
My name is Kyle. I'm Antifa, and there's so much rage in me that I've had to record this like 15 times trying to get the message out. It's time to suit up. Show up, ready to go. Okay, not talking about peaceful protests anymore. We're not talking about having polite conversations anymore. I am talking specifically to my fucking followers. This is everything I have fucking talked about, and this is exactly what I said was gonna happen. This is exactly what I said was gonna fucking come when we didn't fucking go and march on fucking Whipple with guns. Sorry. But welcome to America 2026, where Second Amendment is the only thing that's going to keep you fucking protected from literal fucking Nazi gunmen that are killing innocent people in the street with impunity. Get your fucking guns and stop these fucking people.
Yeah. So Kyle doesn't always look like such a tough guy. We pulled his social media. He's got an Instagram account with over 100,000 followers. And this is how Kyle normally appears on it. Yeah. He's I guess transvestite. He's appears to be wearing women's garb, a women's wig. I can't even like rainbow, long-haired. There's obviously something deeply wrong with Kyle. I think we can all agree on that. Yeah, he's in like women's high boots with high heels, showing off his rear end. Kyle, to be honest, these photos are more terrifying than your "I'm a tough guy" video was. Like, you want to prove me that there's something wrong with you? You just show me those pictures. You didn't have to go through all the theatrics of trying to sound so tough and you're going to get your guns and the Second Amendment. Welcome to the Second Amendment loving, by the way. Yeah, it's great to have you here. Go ahead, James.
Well, irrationality can be the most dangerous thing, and I witnessed, it's like witnessing communism where there's no rule of law, there's no logic. It's dangerous. And those are the types of people that some say killed Charlie Kirk. So it's dangerous. I mean, as I sit here, Megan, with you, I'm getting death threats constantly, and I intend to name every single one of these people. But
you do?
I do. I mean, I'm working on it right now, doing the open source intelligence, trying to name the DMs are coming in, threatening
Can I
my
ask you
life.
why? Like, I have to say, I never name my threateners. I just never do it. I just, like, they want infamy. Most of them just want attention. They don't actually want to kill
It's a
you.
fair point, but I think sunlight is the best disinfectant, and I think the only thing that these people actually fear is exposure itself. They certainly don't fear accountability. There's no one's been arrested, and the reason
No one,
now
right?
now Megan,
Even the 3 church disturbers who went into the city's church last Sunday, not yesterday, but last Sunday, are already back out. Like nobody was held.
I want to talk to you
without
about.
bond.
I want to talk to you about this. This is. I have only a few words to say about it, but every one of your audience members is all thinking the exact same thing: is why isn't anybody arrested? And I think the reason why is because there's no money in holding people accountable. There's no money in it. There's a lot of money in corruption. There's a lot of money in fraud. And I've said this publicly, and I mean I am dead serious, and I will do this. If the prosecutors do not arrest the people, then I'm going to hold the prosecutors accountable. I'm going to do investigative journalism.
You're talking about Minnesota officials.
I'm talking about federally, state, everything.
Well,
in other words,
the feds are bending over backwards right now to arrest those people who went into that church. They're being stymied at every level. That's in the news today. They went into the magistrate judge. He said no for everybody but 3. Then they tried, now we know, Harmeet was on the show on Friday, they tried to go to the chief district judge to overrule that guy. He said no, just go to a grand jury and get an indictment the old-fashioned way. One, we are told, is beginning tomorrow, Tuesday. They said, no, we want this before Sunday, so no more masses or services are disrupted. So they tried to go up to the 8th Circuit, and the 8th Circuit 3-judge panel, 2 of whom were Trump appointees, said, no, there's nothing so extraordinary happening that you require this quick relief. They weren't real persuaded by the fact that they had to have all these arrests made before Sunday. But just to have the DOJ do all of that, James, is extraordinary. So they are trying. It's just a lot harder, especially at the federal level, to bring
and
charges.
they don't have enough prosecutors and good lawyers at the DOJ probably that can be trusted. But this is a different level now. I've had the Attorney General, I've had them reach out to me this morning, trying to get the identity of the people, and I hope they mean well. But generally speaking, no one's been arrested. Nobody. I mean, I've been arrested, Megan, as you know. The FBI's raided me.
Yes.
The FBI raided my newsroom.
Yeah, Harmeet was your lawyer.
So they didn't have any trouble arresting.
Well, that's why it's so crazy. What do you make of that, James? Because it's like James O'Keefe has a conversation with someone who has stolen Ashley Biden's diary about possibly paying her for it and possibly printing it. But James O'Keefe decides, I'm not going to do that. And then James O'Keefe gets the FBI at his home at 5 a.m, along with several employees who get the same treatment as the FBI raids you. And conveniently, it's a miracle. I don't know how they did it, but somehow the New York Times figured out it was going to happen and published 2 minutes later. But Don Lemon physically goes into a church, terrorizing all of these civilians, just trying to observe. A woman so scared, we just read the police affidavit, on her running out of the church, she broke her arm. Now they're talking about the terror that the children were feeling. And neither Don nor several of the others who weren't the ringleaders can get indicted, can get an arrest warrant issued against them. For some reason, these federal judges out in Minnesota want to protect them. No one wanted to protect you other than Harmeet.
I understand the dynamics, Megan, and it's a serious problem. It's gotten to the point where the lack of arrests is the story, and I actually think it's not just Megan, what you're talking about in Minnesota. I think it's something more. I think that the people in charge have to have the will and the courage to hold them accountable. Accountability, like leadership, is a liability. Let me give you a more specific example. I get sued once a month, Megan, once a month for reporting what people say, for exercising my First Amendment rights. If I just talk and not do investigative journalism, I probably wouldn't get sued. But I get sued because I hold people accountable. And therefore, it becomes a liability for me. In other words, it's very expensive. I have to raise millions of dollars. It's hard. So I don't think it's just that there's these obstacles. I think that the people in charge, the people in Washington, have to have the balls and the will to expose themselves to liability and to threats. and they have to say, I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. And that's where we are right now. And if there are threats against them, and if they are being bribed, I will expose that. I will show that to the American people.
Can you get more specific? Because like what Harmeet has done in the church protest, I'm not
talking about Harmeet specifically. I'm talking about other.
Yeah, so you're going beyond.
I'm talking about other reporting. Yeah, as you know, I have undercover people in Washington and elsewhere, and people tell me things, and people inside the FBI tell me things, and they say the reasons why we're not arresting people. And what I'm saying is that I think it might be time for me to bring that to the American people, because as a reporter, Megyn, you know, you have to balance the relationships you have with these people. You probably have a relationship with Harmeet. I don't know, but I'm assuming you do. Your relationships with the rapport you build with your sources, and also, guys, I'm going to have to put you on blast. Like, it's time to show the world the way it is. And I'm just saying that I think
I will say for the record, it's been very interesting to me because I have more friends in this administration than I've ever had in an administration. And some understand that I do have a day job. And like, if they do something that's controversial, I'm going to report on it, and they may not like it. And they take it like big boys and girls. And some come crying like little babies. Right. Honestly, some are so pathetic in their like, I thought we were friends. It's like, okay, you join the government, you're fair game. If you want to end the friendship because I've reported on the controversy surrounding you, that's up to you. But yeah, there's a vast disparity, I would say, between how some respond and how others
There's
do.
definitely a tension there. But I think we reached a boiling point, and I think the public has a right to know at this point. And by the way, I'm going to just be clear to your audience. I have relationships with some of these people. There are some really good people in government. There are some good people trying to do the right thing, but it's the nature of institutions and bureaucracies. It's very hard to lead when you're in a bureaucracy. Individuals can, like Nick Shirley, he's an individual. He can take enormous risks. I think it's challenging for a bureaucracy to take those risks. But stay tuned.
Yeah, we will. A new year means new financial goals, like making sure your savings are secure and diversified. Will this be the year you decide to talk to someone from Birch Gold Group? They use an educational approach with a deep understanding of macroeconomics. There are forces pushing the dollar lower and gold higher, which is why they believe every American should own physical gold. So until January 30th, if you're a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility and start the process, just text MK to the number 989898. Birch Gold can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and you are still eligible for a rebate of up to $10,000. Consider making right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate up to $10,000 when you buy by January 30th. Text MK to the number 989898. Claim your eligibility today. Again, just text MK to the number 989898. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.